Welcome to March. And speaking of marching, we're going to have to march through the landscape. There's a lot to do this month. All right, we're going to prepare our beds for planting, and you're going to do that by coming in and adding 2 or 3 layers of organic matter. And that can be anything from compost to pine bark mulch or just decomposed, chopped up leaves. You can just mow the leaves up and add them to the bed and turn them in, and you're going to have great soil to plant in. And then mow or trim the freeze-damaged beds of jasmine and lyrope, and they should be sheared before the new growth starts. So timing is critical when you're mowing your ground cover beds. Okay, mow your lawn as needed, and if you are mowing and you have a lot of weeds, make sure to bag it. And then apply pre-emergent to your lawn to prevent weeds from growing. And you'll do that the last 2 weeks of March, and then again in 90 days. So you'll do it again in June. And then divide your existing clumps of perennials, and then separate the clumps and plant them 8 to 10 inches apart. Prepare beds by adding 2 to 3 inches of organic matter and work them 8 to 10 inches deep when you're doing those plantings. Add 3 to 5 pounds of cottonseed meal or slow release fertilizer for every 100 square feet. Compost is almost as good, it's just as good, and I'd rather that you use that and till it in. And fertilize all plantings except your azaleas, because they're fixing to bloom. Okay, remember, many trees and shrubs are killed every year by the use of weed and feed. Please do not use this in your landscape. If you put out a pre-emergent, if you mow correctly, if you mulch your beds, you're going to be weed-free. And the ones that do come up will be so weak, you're not going to have a problem getting rid of them. Remember that you're going to want to wait on some of those plantings until after the 15th of March, because that's our last average freeze date. But remember, this is Texas and we don't know what's going to happen. Mulch all your newly planted areas and any bare spots, and then remember that when you put it around your trees, pull it away from the trunk. We don't want the bark mulch up against the bark on the tree, because then it will cause the bark to rot and fall off, and then there's nothing protecting the tree. We're going to watch and spray for, if needed, aphids, because they're going to be on the new growth as soon as it comes out. And you're just going to use a little bit of insecticidal soap. All right, be careful on those closeout sales on bare-rooted trees and shrubs, because they're not going to have a very good survival rate this late in the season, and they have been sitting around for a while. You can buy container-grown ball and burlap trees and shrubs. Last but not least, feed the birds. So this is an African violet leaf, and I just picked it off the plant and cut the stem off, and we're going to make new African violets out of this little leaf. And it's so simple. And we're going to take a few little tools like this, a little cup, some foil, a knife, and our leaf. And then we just take this piece of foil and place it over the top of the cup, mold it in, and then we're going to take this knife and we're going to cut a little slit right in the middle, big enough to slide this leaf in. Then we're going to take this leaf and we're just going to slide it down, and you may have to, manipulate the foil a little bit to get it in. Just make you a little hole and stick it down in. Now, I didn't make it quite wide enough, so I'm going to just cut a little bit more. Very easy. You can't mess this up. It's very, very simple. And then we slide it in to where the leaf is in the water. Just pick it up and check and see. It's a little windy out here, but you'll be much better in the house. And you'll see that it's just barely sticking into the water. And then just take it, set it in the kitchen window, a place where it's going to get some bright light, and then You're going to watch for it put out roots, and then you'll see little babies come out right here, and then you're going to just pull it out of the water and repot it into some nice soil. Don't put it in a huge pot like this 6-inch. We want to use a pot about this size. A 4-inch would be much better. Water it thoroughly, and then just water it when it gets dry, and it'll grow and you can share with friends.